And we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and motherfucking girls, welcome to another episode of PM and the PM Pong and Mav in the PM on a Thursday night. If I got a little edge to my voice, it's because obviously we're late tonight because perfect shitstorm, as I was just telling Mav, on a Thursday for me, where I didn't get out of work early because they threw some stuff on my desk and say, hey, got to get this stuff done. So I was staying late, and then we had a nice little quarter-inch, half-inch of snow show up right at rush hour time. Just enough to really screw everything up. So I just got done with an hour and 20-minute drive home. Just got a sip of a C4 drink and sat my ass down. Well, I did get to go to the bathroom too real quick, but that's it, man. So I'm here straight out of work, straight out of driving. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all having a fantastic week so far. We do have our heart out at 9 o'clock, just to let you all know, chat. Thanks to me again. Yeah, I'm being difficult today, but that's it. It is what it is right now. So, but we're going to have a good time. We got stuff to talk about, actually. Like the last 2 weeks have been dead, but we got some news this week. And we'll see what we're going to dive into, especially with, of course, New Year, new Dev Direct shows up, which is what everybody's been kind of waiting for. So we're going to get all up in there and do some speculation town action. But first things first, I got to get to my co-host, the man who is patient with me today, patiently waiting by his computer. He's been there since about 4:30, anxious to get this thing rolling. He hasn't moved an inch. He hasn't gone to the bathroom. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't even taken a drink at this point because he was just so fired up to do this show. So he glued himself to his chair until I got here. That's right, the co-owner of the Fun Speculation Network. Of course, the beautiful Miss Caitlin owns the other half. And again, Miss Caitlin, thank you on the thumbnails and everything else you do for the channel. But the man, the myth, the legend himself, the man who has a following just waiting for him to do Mav rants. That's right, Fun Speculation, a.k.a. Mav himself. What is going on, brother? How's your week been, man?
Oh, pretty good. I was almost triggered enough to do one yesterday. Then I was like, we're having a show tomorrow. I don't know if this will come up, or not.
Yeah.
But,
80%.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe we'll touch on it a little bit later. But yeah, man, doing good. I hung out with Boom earlier today on Xvlog Live, and we had a fun show. Because we're kind of trapped here today. We had, like, you were just driving in the snow. We had, I think, like an inch or two of snow this morning, and then we had
apocalypse for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it goes crazy here. Then it turned into sleet. And then it was sleeting for like 2 or 3 hours. Then it turned into rain. It's been raining for about 3 or 4 hours, and it's just a constant downpour, and which is turning it all into the slushy shit all over the roads. And now it's starting to get back to freezing temperature, and it's going to turn back to snow, and it's not supposed to stop until like 3 or 4 a.m. So yeah, I have no idea what to expect in the middle of the night, but we'll see how it goes. It's a very unusual winter storm for us here. When we get one, it's usually just the sleet or ice storm and maybe a little bit of snow, but that only happens every couple of years anyway. So this one's been definitely different. I have a feeling if it was only a couple degrees lower, then we would have had a snowpocalypse here in Dallas.
Yeah.
The fact that
if you had that much rain, yes.
We had it's constant raining today. If it had been 31 degrees most of the day, 30 degrees, and it was snowing all day, it would have been absolutely crazy. I couldn't imagine how much snow there'd be on the ground because it's been constant, man. But it's cool to see that. My daughter got to make 2 little mini snowmen today.
Nice.
So before it turned into the slushy, sleety shit.
Yeah.
And so that's a thing that's rare around here. And
that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's been good. We got a big announcement today. We finally got the announcement for the Dev Direct, and it came with a surprise, kinda. Yeah. At least something that gives us something to speculate about, which is really fun for us, right? and
Yep.
we also know what to kind of expect for the show. Well, at least somewhat of what to expect. So looking forward to that, man, because we got news dropping left and right. The news cycles have kind of finally started, so we don't have to have as many dumb shit articles like we got yesterday. Instead, we get some real stuff to talk about. But yeah, dude, I know you've had a little bit of a
Yeah.
time with your day getting home, but
Hey. Hey.
glad you made it.
Yeah. I'm here. Was hoping I wasn't gonna have to miss the show, so I'm happy to be here. It's great to be back in the chair again, 2 weeks in a row after our little holiday break. It is the new year, and things are firing off already. Like, man, we got big news this week. Now, Tokyo
Oh
Extreme
God, yes.
Racer is coming.
This
What
month,
day? This month, January
January
what?
23rd.
23rd. So, and it's going to be early access. And they said what, 6 months of early access or something like that, 4 months of early
Yeah, they
access.
said they're planning on a few months, right? Um, so that
Is
means
if
a
Extreme,
release this year, but they're giving us 200 rivals, they're giving us 50
yes,
cars, they're giving us
yes,
half of the highways,
yes.
like half the story, right? Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I'm completely content with that for a few months. I'll tell you that. And you get to have the discount price, for the full game if you get the early access. So it's not like this whole we're gonna be in early access for years thing. It's
no,
like
no, no.
it's pretty
This is one of those
interesting how they're
short
doing it.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
I can't wait to hear all the haters talk about it.
Yeah, it'll happen
You
for
know,
sure.
I know Steele's gonna hate it. I'm already prepped for that. He is going to try it out, but he's already been talking shit about about how stiff the driving looks. I knew he was gonna. I knew he was gonna go. There's plenty of driving games, right? Brother Mike from NLG, shout out to Mike. Mike, you don't have to play this one either. Plenty of driving games for y'all. You guys can go find whatever kind of racing game you all like. Mav and I and some others in this community are going to be enjoying the shit out of our nostalgia fueled happiness as Tokyo Extreme Racer drops. I don't care. I don't care. So I can't wait. So as if 2025 wasn't busy enough, but yeah, man, it's been good. Gaming wise, I haven't been doing anything different than I said last week. I've been grazing a ton. Again, schedule wise, it's been nuts. Um, I even I I even popped in Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh,
Yeah, because I hadn't really played a whole lot on the Series X, right? So I really want to check it out. And I saw some people pop up on my radar all the time, and they with different games, and they kind of keep coming back around. And Unity is one of those games. I think it must have been like Colt, like a couple months ago, was playing it again too, or whatever. But then I saw somebody else post going, uh, "Is it 2025? And uh, am I just what did they say? God, I can't remember now. I wish I still had the post. Anyways, something to the fact: am I amazed at the amount of NPCs in a 10-year-old game? Yes, yes, I am. Something to that effect. And of course, it was Assassin's Creed Unity. Because if
yeah,
anybody doesn't know, a lot of people skip Unity, and if you haven't seen anything on it, it is some of the most impressive NPC work. Now, there's pop up, right? It still isn't like perfect, but since it did get the boost on Series X, it is so much better than when it launched. But the crowds and the feel of the city in that game is different from most games that we get even nowadays. Like the density in the cities is crazy. So I've just been enjoying that. Again, playing. I did complete Arena of the Gods map, the whole special mode
yeah, yeah,
in Age of Mythology. I did complete all of them. So I did run through all of those and had a great time there. I've been playing some more Halo Wars 2 as well, like I was last week. And that's it. Pretty much it, man. I can't remember what else I've been doing, but yeah, I haven't done anything crazy. I didn't hop back in Indiana Jones because I know I'll be up for hours. So I think this weekend I might hop back in Indiana Jones again. But I'm just looking forward as me like what's next. I'm just looking forward to everything we got coming out here, man, because we got a lot coming out even this month with Sniper Elite at the end of the month, Tokyo Extreme,
yeah.
also coming out this month. Like I'm just so excited for 2025, bro, and what's happening, man. There's gonna be so many games to play. And so yeah, we're gonna touch on all that. But everybody, I'm gonna shout out the chat real quick. And again, we want to get into some conversations here. So I don't want to spend too much time like Mav and I are want to do, kind of meandering all over the place, although it's fun. But I do want to make sure we do get to the dev direct because I think there's some interesting conversations there. I do want to let Mav get if he wants to get a little bit ranty towards about the 80% article, we could certainly do that. Mr. Dring and what some people call his obsession with Game Pass. I guess I'll just call it a fascination that he has with Game Pass. But even though he left, if anybody doesn't know, Christopher Dring announced that he left gamesindustry.biz. Shout out to him doing his own thing. I don't know if he's announced yet what his next project is, but he still finds a way. He still finds a way. He still put out another article. I don't know if it was on gamesindustry.biz or if he did it as a neutral site, but VGC picked it up and ran with it. So Christopher Dring remains around talking about how much Game Pass just isn't the thing. Like I read the article and it's not all about that. Like there was some fair points made in there about other things too. But of course the headline was all about, oh, it costs 80% of sales. So we might let Mav rant about that. But yeah, man, we got some stuff to talk about because there's some exciting stuff game wise too. I got to hear Mav's thoughts on RGG potentially doing ship combat better than Ubisoft with Skull and Bones.
Yeah, it was like it's like Ubisoft saw that. It was like, man, we can't put out Assassin's Creed Shadows now because like they embarrassed us and like they did something better than Skull and Bones. And this gameplay is better than Skull and Bones, better than like it looks like what we should have done with Black Flag. We gotta delay Assassin's Creed now.
Oh man,
But they're embarrassing.
That new Like a Dragon game was as Infinite Wealth was. It's on the back. It's fine with me if those games remain on the back burner for me. But when I saw the ship to ship combat,
yeah, it looks fire,
bro. It looks like Black Flag, except like a dragon style craziness.
Yeah. And new an update.
They also confirmed that you could board the damn ships and actually have crew versus crew. Like something that they, for whatever reason, couldn't put in Skull and Bones after 10 plus years of development. Like a basic mechanic in pirate combat. Like if you said, I'm going to make a pirate combat ship game, and you then you told me that you weren't going to have ship to ship combat, that you weren't going to be able to board ships, I'd be like, what the hell are you thinking? But that's what Ubisoft did. So, but I'm good. I'm glad RGG is picking up the baton here and running with it. And it's crazy that they are, but it looks fantastic. So, let's shout out the chat here real quick. Jesse P is in the house. He says, a reminder that Christopher Dring is the go-to journalist for PlayStation executives when they want to be interviewed. No one has interviewed Jim Ryan more than Dring. Yes, sir. That's where Dring made a lot of his name over at gamesindustry.biz. He always did get those articles, man. He's very good at that. Spider-Man 356, thank you so much for joining us. We got the Razor Ultron AEC for life. He says, Pong Soul, it makes no sense. You're absolutely correct, Razor Ultron. It has never made sense, bro. Why you would make a pirate game, a ship-specific pirate game, and not have boarding? What? I still to this day. Be Nice is in the house. What's going on? Be Nice, great to see you. We got the brother from other Psychonauts in here. Psychonauts in the DMs today with a little speculation. We might get into that as well. We'll bring up brother from another Psychonauts' guest today because there is a little smoke around. So, brother, it's great to see you. We got the one and only BT Maverick 707. He says, yeah, go ahead and cook, guys. Leave the chat shout-outs tonight for more Mav and Pong cooking. Yeah, we're going to do this real quick, BT Maverick. I'm not going to get all wrapped up in it, but I still got to appreciate everybody. I don't ever want to stop doing this no matter how short a time we got because you guys make the show go. Def Leopard says, hi, hello, lurking in the background. Always great to see you, Def. Thank you for joining us, sir. And that goes for everybody lurking, even if you can't pop in and say anything, man. Me and Mav love you all the same. Nothing but respect showing up. Doom Reapers in the house. What's going on, Doom? Great to see you, brother. Let's see here. We got What's going on, Alvin? Alvin says, don't worry about the chat. I love y'all. But I got to do it, man. I just love you. I love you guys so much. Nathan
Like, get to the
Hardman is in the house.
conversation.
That's right. We will. Nathan Hardman's in the house. What's going on? Sniper Elite may be the jam I need. Oh, it's fast food for me, brother. I love Sniper Elite series, and Steele and I co-op the last one. Had such a great time. I'm going to try to get him in on this one too. Legendary Obi back in the community yet again. Great to see you, Yobi. Great to see you hanging out. Love to see your posts popping up on my timeline, sir. Hashtag peace, love, life. Thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate it so much. Why so serious in the house? What's going on? Why so serious? Great to see you. He said, I just checked out the trailer. I'm sold. Which one was that?
I think
Which
it's
one
Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Tokyo Extreme? Yeah, okay. -0. Thank you for being here. Said, hell yeah, Tokyo Extreme Racer. I played it regularly as a teen on my Dreamcast. Welcome, fellow Tokyo Extreme Racer fan. You are amongst common people here who also love the game. We have a common interest around here. So me and Mav both are in love with that game as we were back in the day on Dreamcast. So can't wait to play this one. It's Timmy. What's going on? It's Timmy. Great to see you, brother. Thank you for joining the show as always. Who else we got in here? We got Vertung Mogam. Shane G's, or he says at Shane G, my only expectation is 5 games, nothing more. I got thoughts about whether or not we're going to see 5 games, right? Well, we got thoughts on that, but yeah, that's been the norm.
I don't know where you're going with this.
I think so
because I had the same thought.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's some validity to it, man. But we'll see. Again, it's just always fun. Free Bear, what's going on? Free Bear says, glad to see you, Punk. Thank you, Free Bear, for joining us tonight. Great to see you as well. We got the one and only Will Free Rosario. What's going on? He says, I feel Expedition 33 will be something special. Yes. If they stick the landing, said it from the beginning, that will be early year conversation for Game of the Year. Hands down, that could be the indie game of the year. That could be that small game that shows up at the end of the year. Even though it's going to be earlier this year, don't care. That game looks special. Can't wait to see if they stick the landing. Cyber Gunter's here. What's going on, Cyber? Great to see you so much. Appreciate you joining us, brother. Always. Thatch, what's going on? Thatch, always great to see you joining the chat. Mitchie, dies a lot, my friend. Thank you so much for jumping in here. The one and only Shane G is in the house. As always said, I respect that you guys have crazy speculation, but don't get mad if it don't come true. Many have insane expectations, and they get mad and pout when it obviously not meant. Shane, you've been watching us for a long time, brother. You know how me and Mav do, man. We set our own expectations. Is what it is, man. Again, if it's something obvious or something crazy that goes sideways at the last minute or something dumb, like, yeah, sure. But for our wild out there speculation, nah, man. Whatever happens, brother. Isaac Hayes 85 in the house. What's going up, Isaac? He says, we got another 5 inches of Indianapolis tomorrow. Whew, yeah, I know. Parts of this country right now are getting what we normally have this time of the year, right? We're normally getting slammed with that. Middle part of the country is getting it right now. I'm glad we missed out on it. I'll take cold all day long over snow. I'll take -30 over snow all day long, man. I hate freaking snow, man, for driving. If I just could sit in my house and play games all day, that'd be cool. Silver Lab guys in the house said missing coffee in a state is a state emergency. Yes, sir. I agree. Who else? We got Sanchez MTZ Gaming's in the house. What's going on, Sanchez? I missed the one and only brother from another lore, Master Jasper, checking in from us from outer space. Although he says got like 5 or 6 inches on Tuesday and another 4 to 5 inches of snow today. It doesn't snow in space. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Jasper? Okay, and stop making shit up, man. Everybody knows it doesn't snow in space. Okay, everybody knows that. General Spartan 27. Always good to see you. He says we're getting a little more snow here in Illinois tonight as well. Yeah, lots of parts of the country getting snow tonight. Ferg, Base Brizzle. What's going on, Ferg? We got Marty McFly. What's going on, Marty? We got Niturnal in here. What's going on, Niturnal? And the aforementioned brother from another eye, Steel Rain Eye. The T is a 7, is in the house. Said, ooh, let's get wild. We getting wild and naked, brother. And then, of course, the one and only Masshole 1977 dropping in here with the first Sup Nerds. Sup, nerd? What's going on, Masshole? Always love it, man. Always love it, brother. Thank you so much. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, boys and motherfucking girls. Please pay attention to the screens above your head as you have boarded the speculation hype train. And we got to welcome aboard a whole brand new car full of speculators here on the second show of 2025 because the one and only Free Bear came on through. He flew overhead, dropped off a bag of coal, which me and Mav are shoveling into that engine, getting this burning hot around here up to Mach 2.5. So buckle up, because the Free Bear got on the court with the easy 5 layup, keeping us ad-free in 2025. Hashtag no beans around here. Your goal for this month, January, you guys are knocking it out of the park. You're down to 8,165 as of right now, thanks to Free Bear. You guys are within striking distance this month to keep us ad-free, to make sure we don't have to slang any coffee around this place. So thank you very much, Free Bear. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo. Thank you for that. Never expected, but always appreciated, Free Bear, so much. Mogzy, I see you dropping in here. What's going on? Nathan Hardman dropping in here. Says loves this show, sitting at work on a Friday afternoon, waiting the clock to hit 4. Bro, it's already Friday afternoon there. It's still so wild to me, Mav, that we have people across the ocean that show up in here, and it's like it's the next day. It's not like just tomorrow morning. It's like afternoon, like getting ready to get off of work for the weekend. We're not even to Friday yet. It's nuts, man. I love that. Q, I see you lurking in here. Thank you, brother, for dropping in and saying hi. J Mo Money, what's going on? Says 11 question marks. Square Enix, perhaps. We're going to talk about the question mark thing in our speculation town. We are going to dive into that for sure. Steel comes in here and says, LOL, the new Tokyo Extreme Racer is solid in newer shots, but doesn't mean I can't want the best for the IP as well. Sir, you're talking about AA. You're not talking about AAA. That's the problem. So yes, expecting the best from AA is going to leave you disappointed. This is about the feelings. This is about the nostalgia, Steel, something that you don't have for that old Tokyo Extreme Racer. Okay, that's okay. It's cool. It's cool. Plenty of games out there, brother. You found a lot of good ones on Steam. Mav and I are going to
that one that you recommended was really cool.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That one was dope. Yeah. What, Dave? What's going on, brother? I see you dropping all that flame in here. I can't miss you either. All right, everybody. Let's get down to Spartan 6X.
Before we get going, we got one more super chat real quick. RC Polygon hit us with a 5. Says, hold on. Didn't you hear that Xbox consoles are not selling? So Xbox is dead? Why be excited for the games? Clearly, games don't matter. PlayStation pony logic. Yeah, man. You know, I just like the games.
So. What it is, bro. It is what it is. We've had 3,000 funerals in 2024. I mean, why not have a couple more in 2025 for Xbox? They just keep coming back from the dead.
I'll tell you this. Here's what I have to say. So many people care about who the fuck is winning in selling consoles. Okay? Yeah. For me, I don't give a fuck who is winning on selling consoles. I give a fuck who is actually winning. And I'll tell you something. For Xbox gamers, we are the ones fucking winning right now. We are the ones that are winning. I'm sorry. If you're playing on Xbox as your primary ecosystem, you're winning. Who gives a shit on the other stuff? We, as gamers, are fucking winning. We have games coming to Game Pass day and date. More so another surprise game is going to be shown at the Dev Direct that is slated for this year. And we already just were told that Outer Worlds 2 is also coming this year. The conversations about, well, but it doesn't matter. Nothing matters because they're dead anyway. Fuck that. I'm fucking playing my games. So what am I playing them on? On the console? Like, I'm playing them on console. I'm playing them on the fucking PC. I'm playing them on the cloud. I'm playing them all these places because of the Xbox ecosystem. So who's winning? Me. I'm winning.
Cap.
That ain't cap. That's straight.
It's cap, Mav. It's cap. You're not getting games at quality, Mav. Getting games at quality is more important than anything else, Mav.
Like when Moriarty said, less is more. Less is more now.
Xbox has diluted their entire ecosystem by spreading their devs thinner than even before because now they got to make the games for other platforms. And because there's not that edge of competition here anymore, Mav, you are not getting games at quality. You are putting up with slop being served to you on a regular basis from the first party at Xbox. And you are just capping for Xbox because you care more about the plastic and the company than you do about yourself as a gamer. Otherwise, you would not put up with the bullshit games being put in front of you because there is no way, Mav, you are enjoying the garbage that Xbox has been serving you this entire generation. There is no way, Mav, that you can like games that the other premium gamers out here don't like. There is no way, sir. I'm just telling you.
Gotta say, you make some strong arguments that are bullshit, completely bullshit, sir, completely bullshit. Because I know what kind of games I like. I know what kind of games I like, and I've always been liking these fucking games.
That, sir, it means you have no taste, sir. That's all that means.
Well, that's you. My wife probably agrees with that. But besides that fact, I'm playing the shit out of some fucking awesome games. Last year was great. The year before that was great for me as well. Yep. This year is going to be the best ever, and more than ever, we are having so much to look forward to all year round, and we actually have shows to look forward to that give us announcements for new games. Wow, who would have thought it's even possible? I mean, it's possible to have games on your platform that are made by developers that are owned by the actual platform holder that are developed for a subscription service to be given to the gamers day and date that supports multiple ecosystems and access points. Man, I don't know. I guess I'm just living in a shitty world, playing shitty games and not enjoying myself.
Just a liar.
I don't know.
Just a liar. You're just a liar, man. Well, let's get into these. Let's get into this game section here, Mav, because it is a new year, and we've been kind of expecting, as has been the case for the past 2 years, that Tina Amini, one of the greatest hires that Xbox has ever had, I will continue to cap for that woman. Straight up. I think she's done more for that marketing than anybody else they had previously at Xbox. Has had a dev direct. So we thought this was coming. Everybody hinted that this was coming. Obviously, Game Awards came along and kind of went by. And, we didn't have a whole lot of Xbox there because we knew they were saving for the direct. So we finally got the direct announcement. Jez had hinted that it was coming. And sure enough, it came today. It is, Mav, on a Thursday. Now, it's not going to be in prime time, so it kind of sucks because I was hoping we were going to be able to co-stream. I wish they would move these to prime time, but I get why they don't. That's the rest of the world. But anyways, it is going to be the morning of January the 23rd, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central time, 6 p.m. GMT time.
You know what day that is, Pong? That's Tokyo Extreme Racer Day. That's going to be a hell of a day. What day of the week is that?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Our day.
Oh, our day.
Thursday. Yeah, it's our day.
Oh, might as well be. We get fucking to talk Dev Direct and Tokyo Extreme Racer on PM in the PM.
Yeah, I have to see what's going on with this month if I could squeeze that day off or not yet. I'll have to check and see because it might be fun to just to do that and then play some Tokyo Extreme Racer and then roll into PM in the PM. Might make that happen. So anyways, they finally announced it today, Matt. Now, as they like to do over at Xbox, they like to put a little intrigue into these announcements of these developer directs. So we got id with a nice, beautiful, some Doom art, right?
Yeah.
Dark Ages, Doom the Dark Ages art. Looking great. Doom guy looking freaking badass. Again, I'm more excited for this Doom than I've been excited in a long time for Doom. And I like Doom, but this Dark Ages going back to fantasy, and they have confirmed this is going to be more ground-based combat, that we aren't going to be doing as much platforming, which, again, you guys know how much I hate platforming. I can't wait. So we got that. Then we got, of course, Compulsion Games, South of Midnight. Seen a lot of it. I'm expecting a release date here for this one, obviously, Matt. We'll talk about it here in a second. I think Doom and this one both. I think this lines up with our speculation on how the year's releases were going to go, right? I think this kind of lines up right in there. Then Of course, Sandfall Interactive is going to be there, Mav. And of course,
Yes.
that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the French JRPG turn-based with real-time strategy involved. Looks like classic Final Fantasy, gorgeous, with interesting mythology already teased. They are going to be there, and of course, they're going to be there because it is on Game Pass day and date. Now, did we get a release date or no?
I think it's slated for no, it just says spring.
It just says spring.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so we
yeah.
did not get a okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. I forgot to confirm that earlier. So we got those 3. And then they left a blank with a TV, the old off-air TV screen.
Yep.
For all you older folks, you guys all know what I'm talking about, right? We remember that when the old broadcast system would go off air and you get the colored bars, kind of fuzzy. They did
Yep.
that with a question mark. And I forgot who said it in the chat. But in another graphic, they had, because they put the names in one of the graphics, they had the names of each of the studios listed next to the picture map. And then on that one with the off-air TV screen, the question mark, the blank mystery game, they actually had left a space for the name. And shout out to Epic Treasure. She was the first one that I saw to notice this. Maybe a lot of you noticed this. I didn't notice I was at work, so I wasn't paying close attention to anything. Shout out to ET. She posted right away and started guessing and said 11 question marks. Well, if those they had left enough space, Mav, for 11 letters,
Yeah.
why would you do 11 question marks unless you were giving us a hint that whatever name was going to be underneath this mystery game, whatever studio it was, had to have 11 letters. And that includes spaces too. So that started an interesting conversation. She tagged me later on too. She tagged a bunch of people asking for guesses. So we'll get into that here in a minute. But Mav, up front, also, I should throw out there, now, if you want to go even heavier, because there is precedent that we have been getting 5 games at these Dev Directs. So
Yeah.
you say, wait. We got Doom, we got South of Midnight, we got Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, and we got a mystery game. That's only 4. What are you guys talking about? That's only 4. Where's our 5th? Well, we're going to talk about that here in a second and what Mav and I think too. I got to say that Colt, being the graphic designer, if you look at the post, there is room, technically speaking, for another game prior to Doom, because the Question Mysterious game was at the end. And if you look closely, they left a big blank open kind of field that is big enough to fit another graphic in there. So, of course, Colt threw out there 5 games, right? Because he believes that they left that open for a reason. Jez said that he's heard it's possible that there is more than the 4 that we see here, the 3 known and the mystery game. So there's some smoke that there could be a 5th super mystery game here. But Matt, up front, January 23rd, 10 a.m. Pacific time, we are getting another Dev Direct. We are getting confirmed through the Xbox Wire a full look at Doom, which to me says it's coming early, right? But I want to get your thoughts on it. So we're getting a full gameplay reveal of Doom. Again, I'm sure that we've seen enough of South of Midnight, whatever. And then Clair Obscur. So Mav, seeing this coming off the Game Awards, coming off what was a phenomenal 2024, but coming into 2025, which we knew specifically for Xbox was going to be a potentially a magical type year here with first party launches and releases. What did you pick up on first and foremost out of this, when you saw this announcement, and what's catching your eye? And then give me a little speculation town here on the mystery game, Mav, and what you think we're going to see, and how many of these are we getting release dates on all of these? What do you think?
I don't know. Okay. So first off, I want to point to Aaron Greenberg's tweet, and Jason Ronald also made tweets that said for games releasing later this year, right? Yep. So that includes the mystery game, because they said 4 games. They're looking forward to seeing 4 games releasing this year, right?
And they did confirm also that the mystery game was an unannounced title.
Yes.
Unannounced surprise, as Phil put it. Surprise studio.
Brand new game. Yeah.
Right.
A surprise location is also the wordage that they used, and brand new game. So, all right. So for my first impressions, I was surprised, just personally. I know a lot of people expected South of Midnight to be there, but we did get the big documentary that they had just posted recently that was very dev direct style and format. Plus, also they've been posting a lot of gameplay clips and all of these other kind of things as well. So I was a little surprised we got that, but maybe that also adds fuel to the fire of what else we're going to talk about with if it is only 4 games, right? So we got South of Midnight. Excited to see that. It being here means we are pretty much guaranteed a release date, I would say, for that game, which I believe is going to be sooner than later. Doom was my lock. I always felt that Doom was going to be at this event because we've only seen it really the one time at the June showcase. They had a little bit at CES, right, with the NVIDIA announcement that it's going to be supporting DLSS 4 when that launches as well. So, or later this year, I think is maybe what they said. And then something else that I kind of predicted was Clair Obscur Expedition 33 would be part of the Dev Direct. When we were trying to guess all of our games before that we thought could be here, that's one I kept throwing out there because the amount of hype that it got before when it was revealed, it was a standout. It was a big talker for many on social media, and the trailers did really well. Everybody was talking about this game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, because it looks fucking awesome, right?
Yes.
And so I thought that it was a possibility that they would run with that in a more of a highlight fashion going forward because of the reception that it got. Because of that, it makes sense for it also to be at this Dev Direct so they can showcase it even more because it will be a selling point for Game Pass, right? It will be a selling point, the fact that it is a Game Pass day and date game. So super happy to see those 3 games announced for this. I'm looking forward to what they talk about and see. I'm most excited out of the 3 games here to see more of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 because it just looks insanely awesome and up my alley completely, right? Looks like what I've always dreamed like a JRPG type game would turn into in this day and age.
Yes.
So that I'm really looking forward to. Now, man, I've been racking my brain on this 4th game like all day, and I keep going all over the place, right? I do agree that there's something to the 11 characters, right?
Correct.
That was very good call out by those that pointed it out. I do think a space could be included because if you notice on the graphics, something traditional with the other dev directs that they've done is they use underscores for the spaces, right?
Correct. Yep.
So that would take up a character, right?
Yes.
So that would have been potentially an intentional thing. So it could be something with 11 letters, or it could be 2 words with a space, could be 3 words. Who knows exactly? But there's certain ones that would fit within that. If that was to be the case, one that does is Square Enix, which I had posted on Twitter before. It's 11 letters with a space in between. And that would also fit something I led with when I was talking earlier with Boom about surprise location. Well, they talked about the locations they're going to be at. They're going to be at in Texas. They're going to be in Canada, and they're also going to be in France. I think in France for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So surprise location maybe somewhere in the East. Would be another location to fit within this, and it could be a brand new Square Enix announcement that would also fall in line with what they did last year with the announcement of Visions of Mana. So, but Visions of Mana also wasn't Game Pass day and date, so whatever this game may be, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think the hardest thing to guess is if it's first party or third party, right?
Right.
Generally, we get one third party game, if any at all, adds something like this, which last year
no rules.
there's no rules. Yeah, we learned last year that there's no rules when Square Enix showed up, right?
Right.
So, like Shane said in the chat earlier, there's really no precedent when you only have a couple of events to go by, and each one has been a little bit different than the other.
Sure.
So you never know 100% what to expect. So it could be third party, could be first party. I think somebody had pointed out Double Fine as a possibility,
Double Fine is a possibility, correct?
right? And
Yes.
that would also fit with a lot of speculation about stuff that could be ready for this year as
Mhm.
well. That would fit under the first party umbrella. Um, so you start going around that kind of thinking, and you start narrowing things down a little bit, right? Double Fine would be the first party potential guess. Square Enix would be like a third party potential guess. Um, but yeah, there's a million things it could be.
People
And
in the chat are pointing out Iron Galaxy does fit as well.
oh my god, really? Iron
Yes.
Galaxy fits?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, do you think there's any chance we would get a Killer Instinct 2 this year though?
A T? Yeah, no, probably not
But
this
maybe
year.
an
Now,
announce. Well,
well,
no, but like
said, though, they could do early access, man. They
that's
could launch
true.
it early. They could do it that way, which I think would actually be smart on there if they were going to do it. I think they could. So yeah, I think at some point we could have early access this year if they're going to do it that way. Again, I'm not saying they are, but just saying. But anyways, I'm just pointing out because people in the chat are pulling up good ones, right? So, people are pulling out. What else did I see in here? I know Brett Bingham was wrong with his. Oh, Alfred says Mistwalker has 11 letters. Oh my god, if Mistwalker was coming back from
Yeah, I mentioned Miss Walker earlier on Boom Show too,
that
like
would
a
be the
Lost
greatest thing
Odyssey
ever.
2 or something
Yeah,
like
that would be the
that.
greatest thing ever. Yep, that would be. But yeah, I mean, Double Fine is a great guess, right? I think Double Fine makes a lot of sense because we've speculated that they're going
Yeah.
to have one game this year, right? Chances are. So I think that'd be a good one.
I've been like okay, so
Yes. Yes, Doom. I I made that. Doom says Half-Life 3. Yes, I made that joke to ET to Epic Treasure underneath when she asked me for something. I said Half-Life 3 because it does work. But obviously they're putting studio names in there, but yeah, it's funny. It does actually work.
oh man,
Um
it's hard. Like this is
well,
the cool thing is we
here,
know it's coming this year, right?
yeah. So
So that's the
I'll
awesome thing, regardless.
bring up Psychonauts. Psychonauts in the DMs keeps talking about Silksong being ready. And obviously Silksong's been on the back burner. And so he brought that up, and this makes sense in a couple different ways due to the location thing too, as well, Mav.
What's the
Team
name of
Cherry
this
fits.
Team
Team
Cherry?
Cherry fits. Yeah, Team
Okay,
Cherry fits, and they're out of Australia.
but it's not a new announcement either, though, right? Like unless because they announced the
No, you're
game.
right. It doesn't fit that. It's underneath an unknown announcement. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
so they would
I didn't
like
even think about it that way. You're right. I didn't even think about
yeah.
that. When he said it, it just worked out because I was like, oh yeah, Team Cherry works. Because
I
they've
mean, it would
got
be
to do it at some
awesome.
point.
It would be
For
amazing.
me, Silk Song feels like a second half of the year. Now that they delayed it this long, a second half of the year show back up at the Xbox Showcase kind of title because it's going to be massive. People don't understand. Like again, I'm not a Hollow Knight fan because I don't do Metroidvanias and platforming. I played Hollow Knight. I love the quality, but the level of the amount of fan base for Silksong to me says it's not going to be some small like this, like show up. Like I think they're going to do another kind of, hey, we're back. This is the release date, and I think that would be an Xbox Showcase kind of situation. But you're right. I did leave that part out. Double Fines makes the most sense to me at this if we're going to go first party. Yours about Square Enix makes a lot of sense, Matt, because of the partnership that they have with Square now, which you and I have both talked about here and other places time and time again, that they're going to continue to solidify this relationship. And could we see a Final Fantasy 16 announcement for Xbox here? Would they consider that unannounced because it's never been announced for Xbox, Matt? Or would it have to be something brand spanking new like Final Fantasy Tactics or something?
Right.
So that's my only question with that one.
Like, what does brand new game mean? Like, can it
Right.
be like a Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yeah.
You know, can it be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a like remake?
It could. Because obviously my initial guess before the whole 11 question mark thing was Oblivion, right? That this was going to be the Oblivion remake that we've been hearing about. Jez poured a little water on that today and said he heard no, but he said who knows. He
Right.
said so the guess everybody's guesses are good as ours. I think it's fun as hell. I think it's fun. I I
I
still
got, I
I
got
want to
one.
say Double Fine here. I really do.
I got another one that would shock everybody.
Shoot, shoot.
Undead Labs.
Does it work?
Undead Labs fits. Yeah.
Okay.
But it would have to be a different game than State of
Yeah, but
Decay
yeah,
3
because
because
again,
it
it
is a
falls.
brand new
Yeah,
game, right?
right. Yeah.
Um, I
I
mean,
don't
there's
know,
a
man.
million studios out there, right? So without
Yeah,
knowing if it's third party or first party,
right.
then it's like anything's possible. And if it's third party, then you're adding like infinite amount of possibilities to this.
Well, right. And I tried the ones we knew. I tried like People Who Can Fly. I was thinking IO
Yeah.
Interact. Like I was trying. I'm like they're way too long, so they don't work. I've been going through all the deals that we know about, right? That we know that they've done deals, but they haven't announced anything per se officially. And I could not think of any other ones. Iron Galaxy caught me off guard by the chat, by the way, because I had not thought of that one. I was going through my list of first party, and I had not thought of
Yeah.
Iron Galaxy either. But that does work.
World's Edge fits.
Does it?
Yeah, World's Edge with the space fits. WORLDSEDGE. Yeah. So
Hmm.
five space five. Yeah. Or
Halo Wars
6
3
space
announced here.
4. Yeah.
Halo Wars 3 announced here after I said something.
Yeah, that would be like right?
That would be nuts, bro. Or the StarCraft reboot is being done by World's Edge, like here, like that. That
Yeah.
would be nuts too. Yeah, that would be nuts.
Man, they need to
I
update the
love this.
website because Tango Gameworks is still on the website.
Oh,
And
God.
so is Alpha
Yeah,
Dog.
yeah, they got
Like I was looking at the like the studios for first party
Mhm.
on the website, and I'm like,
Yeah, they gotta do some cleanup.
yeah,
But yeah, I think this is fun as hell. I love that they do this, and I love that they did it this way with one that could be anything, and they are hinting at something. And the fact that it's an unannounced title does make it even more exciting. I don't care whether it's small or big. Um, I always like when there's a little mystery behind it, and I think that they've got everybody on board now in the media for the most part that aren't going to leak anything, even if they kind of know what it is. I've seen some people hint that they know what it is. Um, but I think everybody's kind of on board by keeping these directs
yeah,
and stuff a little bit to the chest and just letting it happen like naturally. But this one's fun, man. This one's fun to speculate on, and I think there's a lot of good stuff here. Um, Overall, I was super happy with this. Uh, I understand why South of Midnight's here. We just seen it so much. I just hope it's short, and I hope the deep dive for Doom is
yeah.
longer.
That's going to be probably the longest one, I think.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And Clair Obscur could actually get a pretty decent amount too. Like if they do a nice behind the scene
Yeah,
meet the team, because obviously, again, Sandfall Interactive, or anybody doesn't know, I say this all the time, but a lot of people don't know this stuff. If you don't look it up, made up of a lot of former Ubisoft devs. That's why this game appears to be so polished out the gate so far. This is a lot of experienced team. Ubisoft has bled a ton of talent, and I would not be surprised. I haven't dug into each individual dev over there, but I wouldn't be surprised as if this is some of their biggest talent that left early and formed the studio over in France. And that's why you're seeing the quality of this. So yeah, I can see a nice behind the scenes meet the devs, and pushing Clair Obscur, because again, it is this big Game Pass get day and date, even though it's going everywhere. It's a big get, man. Again, this could be a game of the year quality type game. Um, so I'm hoping that South of Midnight is going to be a nice little wrap up bow on it. Release date. I'm hoping Doom is a nice full blowout. And then if they're ready to commit to a release date, great. If it's a smaller window than what we've got, great. But it kind of lines up with what we were talking about, right, man? How we
yeah,
thought the releases were going to go this year, right? We thought that it was going to go Avowed, South of Midnight, right? And then we talked Doom,
mm-hmm.
late spring, summer, somewhere around there, right? April, May, we could see Doom's slotting right in there. The way that this is kind of lined up, that's what it feels like. And then Clair Obscur as well being in the first half at some point too. There's a lot of content. I was super excited about this. And I think this is going to be
Yeah.
fantastic. I can't wait to see more Doom.
I can't stop speculating on this
I know.
whole 11 letters
I
thing.
know.
I
I know.
gotta
You
I
got
gotta
something
throw
else?
this out. Yeah.
Okay, throw it out. Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Okay. NetherRealm. It's 11 letters. I just checked.
Oh boy. Well,
That
we don't get.
NetherRealm fits. And I saw that Antonio in the chat was asking, "Where's 11 things coming from?" On the graphic, there's 11 question marks in the
Yes.
same place where the other studio names are underneath the graphics for the games.
Yeah.
So NetherRealm is 11 letters.
We know Boone confirmed they're working on multiple projects.
Yeah, and I
Even
remember, yeah,
even
exactly.
Mortal
Like,
Kombat 1. He confirmed. He said we have at least, he said, we have at least a couple irons in the fire,
and we
is
know
what he
they
said.
would be willing to announce a new third-party game at this because they did last year, right?
Right.
With Visions of Mana, they just had Xbox marketing, right, with it. So like, you could see maybe NetherRealm show up.
Doing what though? Because we thought it was gonna be Killer Instinct, but now they got Iron Galaxy. Unless it can be like a
The thing with Iron Galaxy though is because unless the early access thing was on the money, like I don't think they'd be far enough along on Killer Instinct 2.
no.
So that one, but I would think Ed Boon's other game could potentially be ready because they were both in the fire, for a while, before.
Yeah.
And originally he had said that one was coming before Mortal Kombat. In a tweet, he had mentioned that the other game was coming first. So,
Not
um,
did he say coming first or talked about first? I can't remember which one it was. It was a
maybe
while ago.
yeah, I
Maybe
can't remember
I
exactly
thought
his
maybe it was
wording.
talked about first. But anyways, yeah, that never came to fruition. And now that Mortal Kombat 1 supposedly DLC's been nixed because it didn't perform well, him and his team would have a lot. I mean, they would have had a lot of time at this point to start really pumping away at that game. So yeah, I mean, it's
Bandai
possible
Namco also fits without the space.
without the space. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this
That's
is
another
what I'm
part.
saying though. Like you could find like a
Yeah.
million different
Oh, you
possibilities.
could.
Yeah.
Could. Yeah, 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 for sure. Um, Especially when once you get into the third party realm, then there's a ton of studios out there who would actually work. That's why I was trying to figure out the ones that we knew that they had some types of partnership with, or we had heard that they had cut a deal with to
What
narrow it
if
down. Yeah,
NetherRealm is working with Xbox on a partnership deal on Killer Instinct 2 with Iron Galaxy?
that's what I was gonna say. Unless they are doing some type of co-op, like unless they're you know, that could certainly be a thing, right? Where Iron Galaxy
Mhm.
is like not, I don't want to say it's a sports studio, but co-producing, co-developing at the same time. Uh, I mean, hell, I mean, we know that they brought in Eidos Montreal and they brought in Crystal Dynamics to work on two of their games. So what if they teamed up with Ed Boon because Ed Boon's always wanted to work on Killer Instinct and hired them to co-develop a new Killer Instinct, which would mean that it's a lot further along, Mav, and then that would make a lot of sense here, right? Because if they've been working on it along with Iron Galaxy, once Iron Galaxy got back in the fold, then we could see some pretty. I mean, it could be really far along at this point. That'd be a good one. Hey, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I like it. I like the thought.
Yeah.
I like it. Speculation town, brother. That's
Yeah,
what it's all
I
about.
love Speculation Town, man.
I know. I know. It's so much fun.
When they made this graphic and it's already there, like usually we know the games to expect and then they surprise us with the one more thing, right?
Mhm.
But this time it's like, hey, here's 3 games and a surprise. So they're doing
Right.
it a little differently, which leads to the also possibility, which I know you wanted to bring this up, which
Yeah.
we're kind of on the same page with because I had this thought. I'd mentioned like they have enough games really to have 2 dev directs before even the summer showcase this year if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What Mav's talking about is whether or not there's a fifth, whether or not there will be a fifth game here. And like I told you, all Colt was suggesting because of the open space, and obviously there's some people in the chat that also agreed that there is an open space there, and that they could be surprising us with a mystery game and then a surprise game
which I wouldn't
for a
be
fifth game.
surprised about that either because that's just
No.
kind of their style with these dev directs now.
Yes,
Um,
but I am taking it as 4 total games here
yeah,
because, like you said, man, we could kind of go back and forth here since we're both on the same page. Um, that Xbox has so many first party titles this year. And we already know this. And
yeah.
Jez continues to hint that there's more. Like, so if it's true, like what we even know about now, right, is not the end of it, and they have a couple more in here. you are actually this year talking about enough titles to have an extra dev direct, a full extra dev direct sometime this year. Right now, we've kind of
Mhm.
seen their whole pattern up to this point, but that was with the amount of first party titles they're releasing each year. This year's different. This year's could double first party titles this year. And so you have a whole nother dev direct. So you wouldn't necessarily need to do the 5 here because you're going to have a whole nother dev direct. So, that would make a lot of sense. Plus your
Yeah.
showcase, right? So
And did
I
we
think that that's potentially why.
did we get the
So
$5 super chat from Alvin earlier about this?
no, go ahead and
Okay.
read that one.
Yeah, Alvin, appreciate the support. Alvin, you're absolutely amazing. Says the first thumbnail advertising the direct has always been intentionally incomplete, almost a guarantee
Yeah.
for a 5th game.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Alvin was right on board with that too. Yeah. Would it shock me? No, like you said, man. But I do think that I do think we might get a full extra dev direct this year, which obviously would mean that you don't
Yeah.
have to do 5 year. So
Yeah,
that's my feeling.
so I would think like South Midnight's coming sooner than later. I would think Doom: The Dark Ages is probably at latest summer release.
Yep.
I would think that Clair Obscur 33 Expedition 33 is already slated for spring, so that could be
Yep.
any time between late March to whenever summer
End of
starts,
May,
end of May,
beginning of
early
June.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So though either of those fit for kind of a first half. And Doom, I don't know if Doom will be first half or not, but like if it's not, it'll be I think just slightly after the showcase. But I also think that this makes Fable a lock to be this like big
Yes.
summer showcase
What we talked about.
extended direct
Dev direct.
thing. The
Yep.
fact that it's not here, right?
Correct.
So even if there is another direct, I don't know if we would get Fable at it. I think that would be reserved for an after thing. Though, but what I was surprised is Outer Worlds 2 wasn't at this, which
Correct.
also leads me to think that there could be another
Ding,
direct
ding, ding,
coming this
ding,
year.
ding.
Right.
That was my line of thinking exactly, man, when I saw this. And people started talking about, oh, where's Fable? Where's Outer Worlds 2? Well, I'm like, well, Fable, I think we talked about this like
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, whatever. That was, I think, all of our guesses or most of our guesses was that would be the dev direct at the showcase, that ending, that after the showcase, big one that they done with Starfield and then Call of Duty last year. This year, it makes perfect sense to have that as Fable. I've thought that all along. So that makes sense. But the Outer Worlds 2, Mav, is exactly what you just said. When I saw that and I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but man, they got so much this year. Holy shit. I mean, they could do a whole nother dev direct and Outer Worlds 2 would slot right in there,
Yeah.
right?
And so Outer Worlds 2 could be there. And I'm trying to think like maybe one other first party game, then you do a couple other third parties or something,
Yeah.
You have Fable at the
Well, I'm saying
summer
just
show.
hinting that there's more first party
Yeah,
titles. If that's the
exactly.
case, then yeah, you're gonna slot those in there, man. Like it's gonna be perfect. Like that's why I think you have your showcase, and then a couple months after the showcase, you have another dev direct, right?
Yeah.
You blow out Outer Worlds 2, whatever other couple games you have lined up. You've already got your Fable out of the way, and that's your second half of the year, and it's perfect. Like, I mean, again, this is the year where we get that more. Actually, this year will probably be more than one game per quarter, but when it's all said and done, we'll see. Again, they've got so many games they have to release them, but we'll see how much they play around with it. We'll see what GTA 6 does. That's coming up, I think, at the end of February or March. Take-Two is going to have their investor call, which we'll hear about. They're supposedly going to talk about it directly, GTA 6. So we'll see if they're still on track for 2025. But yeah, I think, Mav, I think it works out perfectly that you do it that way. And again, you just hammer home how much content you have this year. Like crazy. So
Yeah, I mean, fuck. It's a good problem to have. Like, how do we showcase all these games enough? Because we have so many.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think you're looking at more events,
Mhm.
and which last year they already had a lot of stuff, but I think more when focusing on your bigger titles. Cause like, I think that they want to make sure that they market Outer Worlds 2 really, really well.
Yep.
They want to make sure that they market Fable extremely well.
Yep.
Avowed has already gotten a dev direct, and it's one of the ones slated coming soon. So I think we're going to see even more coverage on that very, very soon. But whatever this other game is, if it's first party, like this will be the first time we're seeing it.
Mhm.
So like it could even be a candidate for being shown again if if it's a game that's revealed. Now if it's a third party thing, right? Then I think, it's one of those things we see here time and time again throughout the year. Um
Yeah, like Visions of Mana last year.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yep.
But if it's a first party game, then they're probably going to be doing a lot with it, right? To make sure they market it well. And it's been again, the cool thing regardless, like it's another game where even though we don't know what it is right now, I don't think it's just some little small thing. I don't think they would reserve like a 4 spot dev direct for like a small little title.
Oh, I mean, a Double Fine game, it just depends what you think about them, right? So it just depends how you could view that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think you're correct, Mav. I don't think it's going to be necessarily like some little indie throwaway game or anything like that. I think it's going to be something that has something cool to it. And again, Double Fine is one of the most creatives out there. So they will show off whatever it is, right? So do I think it's going to be another massive RPG? Probably not, but
Yeah.
maybe like again, there's a lot of people making a lot of games these days, and a whole lot of games we don't know about because you see them announced nearly every day. We get some new trailers nobody's ever seen before. So, like you said, Mav, your guess about it coming from the east potentially could be spot on. And we know how much is over there, and we know how much we haven't seen from over there. So yeah, it could be a surprise from over there, like a big game,
Yeah.
cool game,
So
new game.
would you say it's more likely than not that there's a fifth game, or would you say let like are you
I'm gonna
50-50?
say no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that I think they're gonna do the three plus the mystery game here, the four, and then have a dev direct later on. And I don't think we're gonna see a fifth game here. Now, again,
Yeah.
will I be utterly shocked if we do? No, I won't be utterly shocked. It will fall in line with what they've done previously, and it'll be cool because they've got everybody focused on this mystery game, right? For the most part, except those of us in the community that like to speculate and look around, but most people are just focused on the mystery game, and all of a sudden they show up, and the
Yeah.
fact that there was a spot left open before Doom. When they start off the show with a surprise and then they end it with the mystery game, right? That would be nuts. Like if they show up and everybody's expecting, oh, they're going to lead off with a quick compulsion games and then maybe into Doom behind the scenes or maybe Clair Obscur. No, they just show up with a surprise. Hey, yeah, you guys, this is not the mystery game. Like it would be kind of just cool, like if that happened. So, and maybe it's like it would probably be something that we do know about, right, Matt? That's something that was announced, like the Oblivion remake. They show up that as the fifth game, the surprise game out the gate. That would blow some people's minds. That'd be sweet. I take that,
Yeah.
of course. Now, I think it's gonna be fun. January 23rd. Again, this is what we come to expect now, man. This is the type, and this is what we talked about for 3+ years now, Mav. Going all the way back when they started acquiring, and we started looking at what their lineups potentially could be once all their studios started getting the games rolling and how they were going to market all this stuff. It's wild to see it actually come to fruition now, man. It's
Oh
wild to
yeah.
see this.
I mean, we're eating so
It-
good this year, man. It's like so crazy. I mean, we're getting and on top of all this stuff we're getting from Xbox, like you said, we're getting a Tokyo Extreme Racer, which is like something I never would have even thought possible, but something you would
we joked
ever
about it.
dreamed of. Yeah,
We joked about it.
and so oh yeah, it would be crazy if that whenever you talk about franchises that would
Yep.
be that'd be sick, but it's like pipe dream. That's never gonna happen, right? Um, but we're also getting the spiritual successor to Command and Conquer this year as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
Like
Keep
two of
us right.
my things I've been wanting to happen for forever.
Yep.
So yeah, if it's like World's Edge 2 and Halo Wars 3 was the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
I might actually like explode during the coast stream. I might spontaneously combust, man.
That's why I
Um,
made my post, and that's why I started playing it again, man.
yeah.
Because like it's crazy. Like again, I know it didn't do necessarily as well as they thought it would per se, but it still was played by a ton of people. And that game is so damn good, and there's so much story left to tell afterwards, after the fact. You gotta make a third one, man. You gotta make a third one with everything that World's Edge has learned now too. On top of that, like they could just pull it off. So it'd be so damn good, bro. It'd be so good, man.
Yuzu Ichikawa says, question, does the number of games matter when we should be worried about if they are good? Well, I mean, if you like games, then you should want all games to be good and you should want more of them. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think it's like a this or that equation. Like, I
No.
think it's like you should want both. Like, or do you just want less games and say less is more? Just give me one good game, like
A
is
lot of
the
people will.
motto now. I mean, it's
Yeah, a lot of people will. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's fine. I don't know, man. I'm not like this uber critical person. So when I play a lot of the games like that some other people may critique and stuff, I'm like, I'm having a good time. I'm having a blast.
Yes.
I've loved like most of the Xbox games this generation. And
Correct.
someone say, "Oh, that's not that high quality." I'm like, "Well, how? How? Explain
Right.
yourself to how it like." You could look at specific instances on like a
Sure.
game like Redfall when it was more obvious that it
Yep.
had issues at launch, right?
Yep.
But like other games that are like, well, I what do you mean it's not high quality? Like it doesn't.
It's always gonna be subjective to
Yeah,
me, man.
yeah,
Like we
I
said.
it's a kind of genre that's not necessarily for you, but it's a different kind of game, like we like Aura, we like Age, we like
These are all high quality games, by the
yeah,
way.
like Forza Motorsport's super high quality, Flight
Flight
Sim is
simulator, high
insanely like
quality. Yeah.
Halo Infinite's it's crazy high quality, like
I mean,
insanely high quality game.
they came out, but now, but again, there's the nitpick or the little always gonna be subjective. You can sit and judge people and say you have no taste because you don't like the games I like. I just
Yeah.
don't do that. So when we look at this stuff, Bev, you're absolutely correct. Like I always have said too. That's why you guys will never see me professionally review games. That's why you'll never see me do full reviews. Like I've done one for Boom back in the day when I was on his show, and that's it. Like because I like you, Mav. I'm a glass half full guy, and I don't nitpick games. I don't have that critical
Yeah.
eye. Things that bother other people don't bother me, and almost my reviews would be boring as hell because 95 to 99% of them would probably be 7.5s and above.
Yeah.
Like legit, like on every game that I try because I find so much good in them. So yeah, for me, I'm expecting nothing but greatness from id and Doom. They've got nothing to prove. Like that Doom Dark Ages is going to be a great game. Everything I've seen so far is going to be freaking fantastic. Doom Eternal is freaking beautiful. Even if it's not my style of Doom that I like, it's still freaking ridiculously high quality game. So id, come on. Compulsion Games, everything they're showing. Again, even though it's not a game per se that is super high on my list this year, I can't wait to play it. But from what they've shown, it looks freaking great. It looks like it's gonna be awesome, and a lot of people are super hyped for it, right? Clair Obscur Expedition 33. You can't get any more hype for an indie style game, turn-based game than you did when they showed off Clair Obscur. Of course, it all comes down to when the controllers are in our hands and how we each personally feel about it.
Yeah.
But I have no doubts about the quality of any of these games. And overall, again, people can sit back and say that Xbox hasn't produced quality. I will disagree with you all damn day long and twice on Sunday. I don't get that. They might not be the games you want or the games that you like to play, right? But their games have been fucking great. Yeah, there's been instances where we certainly have been critical of them, right? The missing 60 frame shit, you've heard a lot of it
Yeah.
here from us, right? We've made our points about certain things, but overall, their games have been fantastic. And again, Xbox first party makes more games that I'm personally interested in than Sony or Nintendo do combined. They make the style of games that I enjoy more than those other two, right? And that's just a stated
Yeah,
fact.
it's
And again, this is
personal taste, right?
personal
Like
taste, right?
exactly.
So that's where we come from
Yeah,
when we
that's
look
why I
at
don't like harp on
yeah.
like the whole quality conversation a lot. Like, so yeah, Yuzu had went on to say, not worrying, but it's just something he sees. I see a lot of people fighting over numbers instead of how good they are. He also said,
Oh,
no, no, no. What I mean is, all I normally hear is that people talk about the number, but no one talks about
oh,
how good they are. Just asking. Well, we talk
oh,
about how awesome the games are here all the time.
right,
But I mean, in general, I get excited about games.
right.
So I get excited about game announcements. and I get excited to know that I have games to look forward to. So when you tell me that I have this much to look forward to, that's something I want to talk about, right? And especially if you have like a platform, you're on a platform, you're in an ecosystem, or you're like subscribed to a service which gives you those games day and date. For me, it's like the more you have to look forward to, it the better. It's not about like this necessarily versus that. It's about what is it giving me, and they're right now Xbox is delivering so many different games and different genres, different varieties, and they're like most of them have all been super high quality for me, right? And that's something that I just love about the ecosystem. So right now, I mean, we got so much to play, and we could spend a lot of time focused on the quality aspects of each individual game, but we won't know that until really we play them.
Yeah.
Like, and I've never wanted to also like, oh yeah, the animations on that game and that preview looked a little like or whatever. Um, usually I gotta feel a game to really understand how it is, right, and how good it is. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I think some people, and I'm not talking about our chat at all, but I think
yeah,
some
yeah,
people do when they say the quality games, what they really mean is game of the year nominations.
yeah. But that's
And
so
that's,
like, I mean, Call of Duty
what
Black Ops 6 doesn't even get like, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
it's so
right.
that's
Well, we just had
so
Indiana Jones, and we just had Indiana Jones, right?
right.
Which again, if you read the media who vote on game of the year, right? Whose votes count. If you read a lot of them, a lot of these people would have nominated Indiana Jones, at least nominated it this year
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it
yeah.
was qualified for the Keeleys, right? And again, I'm just speaking about the Keeleys, right? Indiana Jones is going to win a lot of awards elsewhere too. But I'm just saying that we have seen that as well. But that is very subjective, and there is a certain style of game. If you go and look at the awards, specifically the Keeley, since that's what everybody points to because it's the biggest one, it's the most well-known one. When you talk about the game, there is specific style genre of game that definitely gets what seemingly is a bonus bump, and we've seen that
Yeah,
time
yeah,
and
yeah.
time again, right? And it's nostalgia-filled platformers like Nintendo makes, and now this year Astrobot, right? Again, not taking away anything from those games quality-wise or anything else, but that is a favorite, right? Or it's the cinematic game, the heavy narrative game. Now, I mean, I know everybody's going to raise their hand and say, "Yeah, but Hellblade 2." Yeah, but you got to have action. It's got to be like the Marvel movies. It's got to be action-packed, and then you get the credit, right? You get the credit. That's why all the games that we've seen that have been constantly nominated have that kind of commonality, right? Some of them serious, some of them less serious, but again, there's just certain genres that seem to be pushed a little bit more than others as well. We've talked about this time and time again. Forza Horizon 5 should have been up for Game of the Year, but flat out, end of
Oh
story.
yeah, 100%.
It
Yeah.
got snubbed 1,000 freaking percent. We talked about it ad nauseum on our shows here because I said absolutely this bullshit, right? There is nothing that says racing games can't be in game of the year, but that's the bias of the media, right? In general, when it comes to certain genres that will never get nominated, right? That will just never be up for it. So, anyways,
Yeah, I
we
just
will talk about
fucking
each of these games
love
as they come out.
I
But
love
the
when
quality,
games get announced, man, and like
yeah,
the
yeah,
having these games to look forward to, knowing that we have
this many too is
yeah,
so
and they're all so different, man, and you know they're gonna be at a certain level standard of like quality and stuff. So I look forward to giving them a go, and as a
mhm.
grazer,
Yeah, yeah.
so much stuff to try this year. It's crazy. Like Adam Falls in March.
Oh, I keep
Yeah,
forgetting about
it
Adam
keeps
Fallen.
looking
That's one of my
better
highest
and
too this
better.
year. Yeah,
Sniper
it's
Elite's happening later this month in
yep.
Game
Game
Pass.
Pass.
Like, um, fuck, man, it's what a crazy year so far. And the fact that we had Outer Worlds 2 from Obsidian said, "Hey, this is going to be 2025." We're like, "What the fuck? Really? It's 2025?" And then now on this Dev Direct, we have even another one saying that's
Right.
going to be 2025. Is just mind blowing on top of the stuff that we already knew about, and that means we were right on our speculation that there was more games,
Yeah.
even beyond when we were talking about Fable when we were talking about Doom, South
Yeah,
of Midnight, Towerborn,
so much more, man.
Avowed. Already, it was a packed year. And what's crazy is they probably have more, and they've already revealed Outer Worlds 2 is, and now another one, and we'll see if it's first party or not.
Yeah,
Like if it's a Visions of Mana situation, it doesn't necessarily, I guess, count the same or whatever, right? But
yeah.
it's probably going to be something I'm going to be looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah. No, and Yuzu, we definitely appreciate the commentary, right? And again, I'm happy to have you here, right? And if you're newer to this channel and you're kind of catching on to our vibe, yeah, we, I'll just let you know up front. Yeah, we do a lot of Xbox, especially on the Fun Speculation Network. Mav does a lot of Xbox talk. Of course, we do. We've all talked about how that's our favorite ecosystem this time around, right? But at heart, we're all gamers here more than other channels, right? We are all gamers here through and through. Absolutely, first and foremost, we are gamers. So you will hear us talk about the games. We're not here just to talk about Xbox's numbers and all that kind of shit all the time. It's just we saw this coming, this avalanche of games coming. We talked about this 3+ years ago on this show constantly when everybody was saying Xbox got no games, their studios aren't making games, all the ridiculous shit that was
The
happening
first
out
half
there.
of last year, when
Yeah,
everybody was
first half of
shitting,
last
like,
year.
well, there's
Right.
nothing. It so sucks. Like, guys, do you
Yeah,
not understand like how
right.
loaded the second half of 2024 was going to be? And guess
Yeah.
what? It fucking slammed us with games. Like,
It slammed us with games, but
and
this is
it
what we
wasn't
saw.
going
So
to
we
stop.
we kind of get really excited about this time because this is what we knew was finally going to happen. We didn't know how it was all going to turn out and how this was all going to go down after ABK and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of that shit's changed, right? Overall, but like Mav said in the beginning, at this point, it is what it is. The decisions have been made. They're going to do what they're going to do. So if I just take a step back from my personal feelings about how I enjoy the competition, how I wish they were competing, and I just take a step back, which I always do in these conversations, and go, as a gamer, I'm just gaining everything. And my God, I've got too many games. And I say that with a wink and a smile, but it's legit. If everybody stopped making games today, with my backlog, I have 5+ years worth of games already that I want to play. But that's me. And that's not the same for everybody. That's because I'm a grazer and I like a ton of different games from the indies all the way up to AAA, all different styles, except for a couple styles. So, but that's where I'm at. Like as a gamer, this is just so freaking exciting because again, Xbox has some of my favorite dev studios in Bethesda, Obsidian, in Exile. Then you throw in your IDs, then you throw in your Machine Games, then you throw in your Activisions, then you throw in all these other studios that they freaking have. World's Edge. They make some of my favorite games of all time or my favorite styles of games. So I just get excited, man, when I see this shit. I'm so freaking bummed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Period. Point blank. Period. Point blank, man. Um,
Choo choo,
shit, man.
motherfuckers.
Choo choo, motherfuckers. This is gonna be a big giant year, man. This is gonna
All
be
right.
a massive year, bro. Massive. Um, let's talk a little bit of Ubisoft here, real quick, man.
Oh, yeah. Ubisoft. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple things for Ubisoft. So
Yeah.
let's start here. Was it on this show, Matt, or was it on Xbox Ultimate, or was it Living Split Screen? Our chat, somebody in our chat, I forget who it was. Apologies, right? I don't keep track of this stuff because I don't keep score on shit, but whatever. Somebody in our chat had mentioned that Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to get delayed. And I chuckled and I said, no fucking way. Guess what, everybody? I was fucking wrong. I was wrong. So whoever said that in whichever one of the shows last week, congratulations, right? You were correct and kudos. I did not think Ubisoft was going to do this. Every week delayed on a game this size is money. And the one thing Ubisoft does not have is money right now. We're going to get to that in a second here. But Mav, Assassin's Creed Shadows announced today moving, which is smart because of how packed
Yeah.
February is. We talked about this, right? You got Monster Hunter Wilds, you got Avowed, you got Like a Dragon, and what's the other one? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah.
And
Civ
then you want to throw in
7.
Civ 7 on the
Yeah.
PC side of things. Civ 7 is always, it's everywhere, but obviously it's more
There's
PC.
Like a Dragon,
Yep.
Civ 7. You got,
Yep.
but you got Monster
Kingdom
Hunter
Come Deliverance.
Wilds, Avowed,
And Kingdom Come
and
Deliverance
Kingdom
2.
Come Deliverance 2. Yeah.
And then Assassin's Creed Shadows was sitting in the middle of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that. So they announced today that they're moving to March 20th. Much better date. I agree wholeheartedly. I
yeah.
just not think
I
they're going
was
to do
looking at
this.
the March list right now, and there's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
to play in March, but
yeah.
it's not like February, you know?
No, no. And there's what, three of those February games that most people are going to probably still be playing in March at least,
Yeah, oh yeah,
or
for
beyond.
years.
Or yeah, for years. So, anyways, they did a quick post today. Said, "Dear players, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to our incredible fans and dedicated teams for your unwavering support since our announcement in September to further refine and polish Assassin's Creed Shadows. Since November, we've been thrilled to share our progress through gameplay overviews, and the overwhelming excitement has truly inspired us. Each week has brought us valuable feedback from our community. While we've already made remarkable strides, we believe a few additional weeks are needed to implement that feedback and ensure an even more ambitious and engaging day one experience. Accordingly, the new release date is March 20th, 2025. We remain committed to delivering a high quality, immersive experience fostered by ongoing dialogue between our players and development teams. We know you're eager to learn more about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we're excited to share that more updates will be coming your way very soon. Mark Alexis Cote on behalf of all teams working on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay. So delayed. I get, is it a big delay? No. It is a few weeks. It is what it is. They have been pushing a lot Nawe's gameplay. I'm going to make this point. I'm going to keep my eye on it as we come up to launch. Um, Interesting. It has been Nawe, and very little Yasuke. Okay. And obviously, we're not going to get into nonsense, whatever else. It is just interesting to note that the gameplay that they've been showing off, which to me is great because Mav, I think you're in the same boat. We're playing ninjas, man.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
we've been
I mean
waiting
it's a
for is ninja
dream
assassins.
game for me. Yeah,
A dream. Steele even said like he likes the tanks and Yasuke like appeals to him, but he's wanted to play a ninja in Assassin's Creed as well for so long. That's all been our dream. So Nawe is going to be my main, right? That's so seeing her gameplay. And again, Assassin's Creed is my fast food. It's my McDonald's. Like I don't care if like they're the greatest games of all time or not. I just get so much enjoyment out of them. But her gameplay is looking fantastic, man. So I think this is it's what I thought about when I thought about having a Ninja Assassin's Creed game set in Japan. Seeing her gameplay with the parkour now, they showed off the parkour, how you can actually combine the parkour into assassinations and that kind of stuff. It's looking fantastic, bro. It
yeah,
really is.
it looks
So
great, man. It's like I am, whew, like if you ever had a publisher with the weight of a game on their shoulders, it is this one. So they can't afford to have this not meet or exceed their expectations for what they want to get out of this. And I'll just say, I don't think 2025 is doing them any favors, right? For the amount that we have to look forward to and play. I think the hype has been diminished for Assassin's
yes,
Creed
it has.
Shadows for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it's justified or not, that's still I think
There's some
a reality, right? And
100%.
it could be one of the better Assassin's Creed games, but I'll say this: I think once it releases,
Hmm?
it needs to be people need to be calling out. Then this is what I think Ubisoft needs is that this is the best Assassin's Creed ever, right? And that's what they really need for it to push out and succeed beyond their what their expectations could be because they're in desperate need for this to succeed. Like
It's
desperate need for it to succeed. So I think the delay, as hard of a pill as it
yeah.
was for them to swallow, they realize that it's do or die and they can't risk anything with this launch. So moving it out gives them more space, but also costs them more as well
Mhm.
as we got the other reports that I'm sure you're going to dive into now. The question is do they even have the time?
Right.
Like what's going
Yeah.
to happen in the next 2 months? Because
Yeah.
when you like I learned this from like business and doing things like you can think you're in a certain situation or bad situation, right? And things are not going good or whatever, but things snowball even worse faster than you think they do. right? Things you could say, okay, we got enough to we can sustain to this point, but like maybe things don't just quite work out that way and things get even worse before they get better. And I have no idea what's going to happen in the next couple months, but we already see the other reports happening with Ubisoft right now and the goings on. And it seems like for me, they are preparing right now for the worst case scenario.
Yeah. We actually talked about this, I think, last week too, Mav. And my guess was that we were going to see something happen with Ubisoft this year. And funny enough, they have another investor call this week, which I wasn't aware that was going to happen. But I'll read Yves' quote directly here. We don't have to get into the whole weeds with all the numbers and that kind of stuff. Just suffice to say that their sales continue to be lower than expected. Their holiday sales were off target, due mainly to Star Wars Outlaws. They talked about cutting costs, reducing costs by over $200 million by fiscal year 25-26. By being more selective with their investments, by canceling X Defiant, etc. So yeah, they are in survival mode. They are in turtle mode right now, Mav. They're going to have to be very careful going forward. But let's look at Yves' quote here real quick. Quote, this is from Yves today. Quote, we made good progress on the strategic and execution reviews initiated a few months ago and are confident this will position Ubisoft for a stronger future. We have taken decisive steps to reshape the group in order to deliver our best-in-class player experiences, enhance operational efficiency, and maximize value creation. We also recently appointed leading advisors and are actively exploring various strategic and capitalistic options to unlock the full value potential of our assets. We are convinced that there are several potential paths to generate value from Ubisoft's assets and franchises. Additionally, we are all behind our team's efforts to create the most ambitious Assassin's Creed opus of the franchise and made the decision to provide an extra month of development to Shadows in order to better incorporate the player feedback gathered over the past 3 months that will enable us to fully deliver on the potential of the game and finish this year on a strong note. End quote. So yeah, Mav. They have brought in outsiders to help decide what is going to happen with Ubisoft and where they go from here. And I think we don't need to deep dive it anymore. We've done it plenty. We're going to hear more. Again, I think decisions are made this year. Like you said, Mav, even maybe in the next couple months, but I think decisions are definitely going to be made this year. Ubisoft could look really different. You've said that there are obviously several paths to generate value from Ubisoft's assets and franchises,
Right.
right? So one of those paths is selling off. That generates value, right? That generates cash to sell off some of your franchises. We talked a little bit about that they could do that, that they could really downsize, take this private, take the entire company private, sell off a bunch of the assets, and then keep some and start over, basically start fresh, and start to rebuild. Another one is to have somebody buy them out, like a Tencent, take full control. Right now, interestingly enough, Tencent got put on a block list supposedly by mistake as a military, what did they call it? I forget what they called it. My God. But they got put on basically the no-go list for companies as a almost, well, not terroristic, I don't want to say that, but as a enemy of the United States, a military company. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes down. But Ubisoft is not in a good position. They do need Assassin's Creed Shadows to exceed their expectations, to help them in this case. I've said all along, I think now with everything that's happened to Assassin's Creed, with all of the talk around it, and the delay, I think that it will do okay, but I think ultimately it will wind up not being the game that they needed it to be. So I think Ubisoft's going to have a rocky road here, Mav. And I think there's
Yeah.
going to be massive things coming down, changes coming down the road. So
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see Assassin's Creed Shadows doing as well as they needed to do.
yeah, no.
And I don't have like we have a new Anno coming out this year, right? But like that's I'm sure it's gonna be great. and something that we would probably really enjoy, but I don't think it's something that is going to set the world on fire for them for numbers, and um Assassin's Creed was kind of their franchise that they were
Yeah.
all in on. Remember that showcase we got a couple years ago where they
Dude,
had like,
that roadmap.
yeah,
was
like,
so-
oh, we got 10 fucking Assassin's Creed games here for you or whatever it was. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, it's awesome. And this is the first big one from that group, and like, I don't think Assassin's Creed Mirage did well as they thought it would. None of their releases
I can't
really
wait for
have.
Hexe. Hexe is could be
Yeah, man.
their dark Assassin's Creed for the first time, which will be interesting.
I think it's like the best thing for us to just hope that the franchises can live on, that the devs can withstand in one way or another. And yeah, that like there's so many assets that they have. And when they bring in teams to say, well, I'm going to look at everything that you got and we're going to see how you can maximize the value of this, right? That's
He's
basically what
talking
they're doing right now.
horses.
They're taking stock,
Terrible. Yeah.
and we'll see what happens to, like, I mean, the biggest moneymaker is still probably Rainbow Six Siege.
Right.
So,
But
like, I was saying, like, hey,
a lot of that money is going to Skull and Bones
yeah,
to keep that afloat. Right. Again, that's been the problem with Ubisoft, right? Is that they've robbed Peter to pay Paul for a lot of their experimentations, and they're chasing the pot of
Yeah.
gold. That's they've been robbing their franchise. They've had a couple really good. I mean, again, Assassin's Creed, $1 billion franchise, right? And like you said, Rainbow Six Siege, printing money, but they're stealing that money. Much like Square Enix was stealing from Final Fantasy 14 to cover all of their BS.
Yeah.
That's what Ubisoft's been doing. And now it's caught up to them. You can't do that. It's not sustainable at all. Now they supposedly got a new Animal Crossing game coming out that they think is going to be the next big.
Yeah, how many of those do we see every fucking Monday on FSP when we do tidbits? There's some Animal Crossing clone, right? Like every single week, there's somebody that has the Animal Crossing clone. EA has one coming for like The Sims, right? Like,
Yes.
there's every company has. Hey, this is look at our even Yakuza did it fucking last year.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're everybody has something like Animal Crossing that they're doing because it's a fun kind of genre or whatever. But for them to be naive enough to think that this is going to be our end all, be all and save a company for anything that they have right now, it's just not realistic, man. Like God, dude, it's like they fucked it up, and we'll see. We'll see. I cross my fingers for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Hope it does what they need it to. But this is out of all the news stories that happened this year in 2025, as many great games as we get, as many awesome things that we have to look forward to. I think one of the sad stories that will end up happening in 2025 will be the complete, utter downfall of Ubisoft.
Yes. I think there's enough there that it can be done right where they can hold. It's going to be a fraction of what it once was.
Yeah.
Right. And but I do believe, but my problem being is that Yves and the family have lost
their minds.
I think well, yes. And I don't know how, because it's nearly impossible for a game publisher this old that built themselves up into one of the world's biggest publishers ever, all time.
Yeah.
Right? From little beginnings, right? It's hard to know who was actually calling all the great shots that got them there back in the day. And was it Yves, 2 decades ago, who just kind of knew the pulse of the gaming community better than others, and that he actually was making these good decisions? Or did he have great people underneath him in higher roles when they were a smaller company who he let make decisions, and they came up with the ideas, right? For Tom Clancy's, for your Rainbow Sixes, right? For your Splinter Cells, all this kind of stuff.
I will say, after listening to him in interviews,
yeah,
it was never him, because I cannot ever foresee the way that he talks about games.
Well, I mean, you can lose sight. You can get old and lose sight,
Yeah,
right? You
I
can.
guess.
The industry can evolve, and you can get panicky, and you can lose sight of what you
Start
originally had.
chasing
I
what
don't
everybody else is
know.
doing. Yeah.
I don't know, but what I do know is Yves right now and his family have no clue as to what makes games great right now. They don't have any clue, and they've lost so much talent. So to me, the problem being is if he takes it private, becomes a fraction of the I don't think I don't have any faith in him and his direction. Like I don't have any faith that he's going to be able to figure it out, even if he winds up saving Ubisoft, his baby. Like, I get it, it's his baby, but I just don't have any faith in him as a leader to be able to do that. And I don't think he's willing to let his ego step aside and bring somebody in like a Zampella over at EA to run the
Help right
ship
the
and get
ship.
it back on
Yeah.
track. Right? Exactly. So that's my problem with it. No matter what, I think they will survive, but I think they're going to be a ghost of their former selves for sure. So, and like I said, I just hope the franchises, if they do wind up selling franchises or they do wind up selling studios, that they go to good places. And I hope that again, it's not going to be pretty. The human 20,000 employees, it's not going to be pretty as those cuts start coming. So it's not going to be good at all. You know what else is not good, Math?
What else is not good, Pong?
We were on the cusp of what appeared to be a fantastic Gen 1 Transformers game
Oh,
in Transformers Reactivate.
yeah.
If anybody doesn't know, Reactivate's been around for a long time. It's moved multiple studios. Okay. It's been transferred to multiple different studios, multiple different engines. It eventually settled at Splash Damage, Unreal Engine 5. They've been working on it for the past couple of years. If you guys have paid attention to any of the Transformers Reactivate fan sites out there that have been posting footage of this game, you will know what I mean when I say, damn. F in the chat for Transformers Reactivate, because Splash Damage came out this week and said that they are cutting employees and shutting down production on Transformers Reactivate. But damn, if those videos, Mav, and the game footage, early game footage, we're talking pre-alpha game footage and some of it, did not look like they were onto something. It was going to be a co-op multiplayer experience with Gen 1 Transformers, and the animations, the sound effects, all looked so good. I was so excited for this game. Shout out to Colt again this week, who put out my thoughts exactly. And I was going to put it in the DMs. I just never did. I was busy at work. But I had the same thought. Like, Microsoft and Xbox should step in and grab this game. Whatever condition it's in, they should grab this game and find a studio to finish it up. So, Hasbro, we know they've been in talks with Hasbro because they own some of the old Transformers licenses, obviously. We know all that. Like, this is the perfect thing. Like, we old school Transformers fans kind of deserve this game, man. It's been a while and it was looking cool, man. So F in the chat, man. I'm sad, bro. I'm sad.
Oh, it does suck. I was hoping that we would get some news on it soon. Not this kind of news,
Yeah.
obviously.
No.
My hope is that back of my mind is if Hasbro was serious about having good Transformers games, and remember they put out the tweet about, hey, we would like to have these other games back out there. Sure,
Yep.
come to us for the licensing or whatever for like the War for Cybertron games and stuff like that. Maybe there could have been a multi-game deal. Bring those back and have a new game from an Xbox studio or something, or anybody out there. I don't know, anybody, somebody give us the fucking Transformers game that we deserve, please.
I
Please.
know.
It is
Oh, I want.
ridiculous.
We were
I mean,
so close.
the Cybertron games were really good too,
Yes.
but still, even those were not like what I could dream of as like my epic dream kind of like Transformers thing. Like, that franchise is fucking built to be made into an amazing video game. You got robots that transform into fucking cars and jets. Come on. You got a great story if you go back to Gen 1. You got great characters. Just do it. Do it. Do it, and do it right. Somebody, please.
Correct. Please, somebody.
Yes.
All right, Mav, I got about 25 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
We give you a chance to Mav rant here a little bit. So I'm going
Okay.
to set this up and then I got to step away for a minute, but I'm going to give you a chance to Mav rant.
Okay.
Everybody loves a
Fair
Mav
enough.
rant on a Thursday night. Actually, they love it on any night, especially when you go solo and you can rant for hours. But give you a little chance here. So we alluded to this. Maybe you guys saw the article. Maybe you didn't. I'll take it. Some more than one place picked up on it, but VGC's headline was Xbox games in Game Pass can lose 80% of premium sales, it's claimed. This according to business journalist Christopher Dring. This is done by Jordan Midler. I always give people credit when we read their articles. So again, VGC, Jordan Midler. That's according to business journalist Christopher Dring, who added that for multi-platform titles, inclusion in Game Pass can actually drive PS5 sales. Whoa, imagine that, man. That must mean that Game Pass drives a little hype. Huh? It must mean that there's something special there. Speaking as part of a Q&A on the install-based forums, Dring was asked his thoughts about Game Pass and its impact on the market. Anecdotally, games that are in Game Pass can expect to lose around 80% of its expected premium sales on Xbox, Dring wrote. That's the figure that gets thrown around. It's a lot. It's less if it's a big mainstream release, but generally, look at how low Hellblade 2 charted, or where Indiana Jones came, or even Starfield. Game Pass has clearly hurt the sales of those titles on Xbox. Genius. Geniuses. We are surrounded by geniuses, Matt. This is just amazing. But if it's a game on multiple platforms, it can be beneficial. Oh, you don't say, Mr. Drake. You don't say. The surge in players on one Xbox can have a strong impact on sales on PlayStation. For instance, String went on to say he feels torn on the effectiveness of subscription models. Of course you do, String. You've made that crystal clear for years. And it's highly dependent on the genre and the type of game. Oh, yeah, of course. Depends on the game. Depends on which platform's doing it, too, in Dring's eyes. Of course it does. Of course. Try being an indie game on Xbox right now that's not on Game Pass. Was Balatro on Game Pass, Mav?
No, it did fine. Yeah.
Did fine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did great.
Anyways, okay. Let's see here. But also getting people to play your game in 24 and 25 is so hard. And subscription gets games in front of lots of people, he continued. You don't say, Drink. Again, genius level stuff here. Sorry. We know from data that, oh my God, I have an ad. Hold on. VGC is terrible for that ads shit. Hurry up, get out of my way. Anyways, we know from data. Oh God, I can't even get around this one. Jesus. Okay. Basically saying a lot of people are going to choose to play Call of Duty on Game Pass. The same people who played Call of Duty through Game Pass also took the opportunity to play other Game Pass games that they wouldn't have otherwise played. Yes, it's hard to argue that that's a bad thing. This week's sales data This week's sales data revealed that video game revenue in UK dropped 4.4% in 2024. This is driven mainly by a collapse in physical game revenue in the region, with just 324 million pounds generated by the sale of box games in the UK this year. That's a drop of nearly 35% over 2023. All right. Weird ending to the article, but whatever. So basically, Mav, go ahead, rant on. I'll just say from my part, Mav, what I said in the DMs. I mean, again, all these years of Game Pass, Mav, all the times that Phil, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty have walked into these dev and these publishers' offices when they traveled the globe, and they have held these people at gunpoint. And they have stolen these games from them. They have pirated basically these games from these publishers and devs and put them into Game Pass. And they don't give them a dime, Mav. It's amazing this crime spree has been allowed to go on for this many years, and not one single member of this a group of adult working professionals have gone to their governments or to their local law offices and have filed suit against Xbox all these years of stealing games and never paying them a dime, Mav, and costing them up to 80% of their sales by going into Game Pass. My God, man, this is something we've never seen at this level before, man. It's amazing they've allowed this to go on.
Shocking. I am shocked as well. I mean, how could they? How could they have a service that just takes so much from so many hardworking individuals and just gives it away like that? I don't understand it. I mean, it's almost like it's too good to be true. I mean, what's happening right here? How? I got two bones to pick with this whole fucking thing. Okay, because this ran rampant yesterday because there wasn't a lot going on. First off, Christopher Dring, okay? Former GameIndustry.biz person that has always had a kind of thing about this. Remember, he was the same person that said, oh, Xbox is kind of starting to move away from Game Pass. And then when Xbox comes out, we're putting fucking Call of Duty day and date on Game Pass. We're putting all this shit day and date on Game Pass. Everything's day and date on Game Pass. Hey, here's some more big ass third party games going day and date on Game Pass. Some ones that you didn't even know were happening this year. All of these things. Yeah, the guy obviously doesn't know what's actually happening within the business spectrum of Xbox and Microsoft. Secondly, when you say, oh, they lose 80% of sales, well, fuck, where do you get that from? And anecdotally, what the fuck does that mean? First, like, where do you pull the numbers out of somebody else's ass and say, hey, I'm hearing this? Well, from what? Give me some actual fucking context to where you're pulling 80% out from, because it's going to be different for every fucking game. We say it's a number that's fucking floating around. Floating around where? Floating around the person that you talked to at the gaming event that you were at that told you Xbox was going to stop doing Game Pass? Is it that same source? Because if it was that same source, they're full of shit. Yes, Pong Soul?
It's the same source, Mav, I believe, that told Mr. Dring that Microsoft was not going to continue to invest in Game Pass and that third-party companies were backing away from supporting Xbox and Game Pass. Remember
oh, okay. Thank you for this mother bullshit that you're giving me, sir, with this 80% number. I fucking guarantee you it's going to have 80% of sales. It's like he's like got an axe to grind or something. It's like he thinks that, oh, I'm going to save the day and make sure everybody understands the context of how this is going to hurt their business if they accept a deal with Microsoft to go into Game Pass. Oh my God, they need to move away from it. Oh, fuck this guy. So that's the first issue. Okay. Like, based on what? You do understand that there is a deal made with every single one of these developers and publishers that are putting their game into Game Pass. And guess what? They are getting money, which is revenue for the company. So what do you mean they're losing out on 80% based on what? They are also receiving something. They're receiving something as well. You could report on that. If you want to actually do some research and try and actually do some actual journalistic research, hey, let's try and figure out how these developers and publishers are compensated for their Game Pass deals. That would be interesting for me to learn. Not some made up bullshit that you pulled out of some guy's ass he had a conversation with at some conference sometime. Next. I have an axe to grind with why does this article even exist? VGC? What the fuck are you even doing? You think it's newsworthy to actually create an article about what some guy says on a fucking Q&A of his own opinion? He doesn't even work for GameIndustry.biz anymore. Secondly, he's not in the fucking games industry. He's just a guy that wrote about video games. Why is his opinion on what he says he anecdotally knows even a fucking article in the first place? Because Christopher Dring says it's newsworthy? anecdotally, yeah, I'm calling bullshit on the fact that that is even worthy of having an article about in the first place. You're just adding it, nobody would have even talked about this at all if VGC didn't run with it, because it would have just been Christopher Drink doing his thing on his own little Q&A on this website. But somebody's like, this is interesting. This is going to get clicks. This is negative about Xbox. I think I'm going to run with this today, and it's going to spread around like wildfire. Good job, asshole. You did your job. Okay? You did your job just like everybody else does when they make up these fucking articles looking for stuff to run with about negative Xbox news and all this other kind of stuff. Meanwhile, today, guess what? We get the Dev Direct. Nobody cares about your fucking 80%. Nobody cares about your dumbass article anymore. Nobody cares about Christopher Dring's Q&A where he says this and that. Nobody cares. We care about the games that we're getting at the Dev Direct. We get to care about the games that we're actually getting to play this year, because we shouldn't be concerned over what the publishers are losing out on game sales when they're gaining also from the people that are paying for it in the first place. We should be compared care about what we fucking get as gamers, as consumers. Who are you writing for? Who are you advocating for? I don't understand. I know I'm winning in this situation, so I'm super happy about it. If Microsoft wants to fucking lose money occasionally or gamble on whatever kind of subscription model they have, that's up to them. Next, how many copies did Squid Games 2 sell? Does anybody know? Did they lose 80% of revenue on sales because they're in a subscription service day one? Squid Games 2, does anybody know how many copies they sold? Does anybody know? I'm just curious. Squid Game season 2, just wondering. None. They sold 0 fucking percent. It seems to work for them. Seems to work for the movies. Seems to work for TV. Seems to work for music. And if somebody else goes out there and says, well, gaming shouldn't be really looking at the economics of what other fucking entertainment industries, like, there's so much bullshit going on there with the attack of subscription models and gaming, ignoring the fact Apple has one, Google has one, Amazon has one, EA has one, Ubisoft has one, PlayStation has one, Nintendo has one, but you choose to go after the one that gives us the most bang for our buck as customers. You choose to go after the one that gives us the most value because they're doing more for us than any other ones with the subscription service. Is it too good for you? Is that why you choose to go after Game Pass? But I thought they were losing. I thought they were not important anymore. So why do you choose to write about them instead of asking PlayStation to put their fucking games in their day and date and ask the other publishers to increase the value in their services? Just saying. Anyway, I'm done.
All right. Everybody got yourself a little Mav rant there. Can't argue with the man. The man comes with the facts every time he goes on a rant. I love it. Yeah, just it's a continuation, man. Like you said, it's wild, man. It's wild how many times these things are written, and how many times they are skewed a certain way, for certain reasons. Again, some of his points he was pointing out, they did benefit. Oh, what did they benefit? Oh, PlayStation 5. So we can't say it's all bad, Mav, right?
Was that not that? Why wasn't that the headline that VGC ran with?
Right. Again, talking about how it generates hype, right? Talking about how it gets games in front of more people. The problem that everybody ignores, and I'll end it here, and we can do one little last thing here, Mav. But the problem that everybody ignores, and he alludes to it in this article, is with or without Game Pass, right? Or any subscription model whatsoever. The fact is that games would fail miserably. And again, they always leave out the fact that the devs and publishers are getting paid to go into Game Pass. But this day and age, There are more games than ever that come out every single year on every single platform. And the chances of your game getting buried, whether you are an indie game or a AAA game, has never been higher than it is right now. So every advantage that you can get, including a subscription service like Game Pass that can promote your game, and they pay you to bring it on board, which cuts your own risk of making a game down, you've got to take it if you get the opportunity. And why have we seen so many devs continue to cozy up to Game Pass if it's so horrible? Why have we seen so many big publishers cozy up to Game Pass if it's so horrible? And if it loses them 80% of sales? Because that's not the reality of the situation. And what's funny is that these journalists, Mav, the one thing I will continue to harp on about the journalists out here, go do your freaking jobs. If with all the games that have come into Game Pass, why have none of you broken a story by getting the details on one of those customized contracts from one of these people? You guys all have inside sources, according to all of you. Why have none of you actually gotten some of the details about the contracts that are in Game Pass, or even just the basic outlines of what that contract looks like, so we could actually have some factual information about how these devs are getting paid? And we know it's customizable. We know that each dev can get something a little bit different. Why don't you, as journalists, go do some investigative work? Why don't you hit some of your insiders up for some of that information so we can get a better picture of what Xbox is actually doing, and why, again, so many devs, from indies to AAAs, from the unknown to the very well-known, keep coming back to Game Pass, keep coming back to put their games on there if it's so horrible for everybody. But none of you do that stuff. None of you do the real work out here about that stuff.
I'm so surprised after Microsoft stole 80% of their sales that they would do it again.
Right. Come on, man. There's just some common sense shit out here that nobody can deny. Again, it's dumb, but whatever. You get the headline. Game Pass loses the 80%. Hey, get all those clicks. That's what it's all about. All right, man. Before we get everybody out of here, I believe you
super chat real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Grab that super chat from me.
Silent Cypher. Shout out to Silent Cypher with a $5 super chat. Says the only reason it got shared out is because Chris String has hatewood for Xbox and is a giant engagement farmer. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Well, I will say this about String. He was just doing a Q&A. Right?
Correct.
He was just doing a Q&A. Somebody asked him a question. He's going to answer it. I don't have to agree with his answers or whatever. That's why I have a secondary, more actual issue with the fact that the article exists in the first place.
Sure.
Like this article is a nothing fucking article. It's like, hey, this person said this. Okay. Why does it even matter what they said? Like, we'd have no actual concrete information from anything that they said. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, hey, this person was writing a Q&A and they said this. Well, okay, they said they don't even actually know the real fucking numbers. So like, what are we doing here? Why are we even creating these articles? But it just doesn't need to exist at all. BT Maverick hit us. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Or they could title it different. No, I was just gonna say, or they could just title it different.
Yeah, or cover it.
They title it specifically for a purpose. And again, you could say, well, yeah, because they gotta, that's how they make money down. Well, again, that's part of the problem, though, right? Because people don't read past the headlines, right? So they don't, and everybody knows this, that it's probably less than 10% of people actually read past the headlines. So everybody just runs with the headline. So whatever your headline is the point you're trying to get across about whatever it is that you're writing about. And for them to choose that specific detail and leading out some of the other good stuff tells you where they wanted to go with this. Because again, negativity towards Xbox still does drive clicks.
Yeah. It's just that, okay. BT Maverick 707 with a $5 super chat says, any quick thoughts on the Xbox OS announcement, possibly to Windows handhelds
That's what I wanted to get into.
along with SteamOS gaining a little traction for competition.
Yeah, that was going to be my last quick topic before we get everybody out of here. So, yeah, I mean, might as well just jump into it. So CES this week, and again, I'm not the tech dude, so I just like looking at all the new tech. There's been some cool ass shit coming out of CES, by the way. There's some really dope stuff. My God, I love tech all over the place. It doesn't even have to be gaming tech. But CES was this week. We knew that Jason Ronald was going to be there, Mav. I heard you go live. I think I caught you, or maybe I caught it after play. And you were like, anybody know when Jason's going, or if he's even going to be there? And he showed up later, or whatever else. Booty was on stage, or not on stage. He did a recording for AMD's section when they were talking about their new chips and that kind of stuff. Both AMD and NVIDIA announced some new chips. Obviously, NVIDIA announcing their 50 series, which could be incredible, could not. They're relying heavily on AI and DLSS and all this kind of stuff. So performance-wise, it's kind of crazy, but it's not real performance per se, native performance, I guess, but lots of cool stuff there. But anyways, yes, the OS, right? We all knew that Xbox was going to start talking about the OS and what their plans are, because there's been a lot of smoke about them coming up with a new Xbox OS that can be used across all devices, that simplifies things, a trimmed down version of Windows in the background. This goes into their Play Anywhere. This goes into potentially their hybrid future system, their handheld, etc. Mav, we've talked about this plenty of times before, but everybody kind of thought CES was going to be the spot. And yes, Jason Ronald did show up and do an interview, and he did suggest that that's exactly what's happening now, that the new OS is going to bring the Xbox experience. It's not going to be Windows with an Xbox overlay. It's going to be Xbox's OS with the Windows in the background doing the stuff that's necessary. And that, he said, that was a vital point, that they wanted to make sure that this was going to be the way forward, that everybody felt that they were getting the Xbox experience, right? The gaming experience, which is what they feel is the most important, which we all can agree upon it is. And on top of that, Steam was there touting the Steam OS, and they're licensing it out to everybody, Mav, and the first to have a go at it is Lenovo on their new handheld, right? Now the conversation turned, and again, I don't get into all the tech stuff because I'm not the tech guy, so I don't pretend and I don't fake that shit. But all the talk turned to the fact that, holy shit, you're going to have an OS battle now in that field, because Steam is coming and they're already ahead of the curve, which is going to and has to push Microsoft and Xbox, Mav, because this is massive competition for where they want the Xbox to become an everywhere type of ecosystem. And Steam OS is going to be a main competitor now as they bring their OS to third-party devices as well. So this is potentially going to drive, some innovation. And they're also going to have to be quick and get out before Steam OS grabs a large portion, right? So I thought this was a good talking point. I loved, obviously, Jason knows what he's doing. He's been in interviews. He's very good at what he does. And I thought he did a great job making it sound like they get it, Mav, that the game experience has to be front and center, and that the rest of the BS has to be trimmed down to the bare minimum. And this has to be, yes, it's going to be a combination of the two, Windows and Xbox, but it has to be Xbox first and foremost, and not have any of the hiccups that come along with the Windows-based stuff, which they know has been a problem for a long time, which has caused them issues elsewhere. And it sounded like they understand, man. And it sounded like that we're going to see this sooner rather than later. According to Jason, it sounded like they're getting ready, that we might see some stuff down the road here. What are your thoughts on this, Mav? I don't remember if you had a chance to talk about this yet. I think you did on your own show, but I think you did actually catch it or something. I can't remember. But what are your thoughts on this, Mav, and where it's going? And does Xbox have to be concerned that Steam OS is now out there in the wild, and that they are now licensing it out to third parties, and is going to be a main competitor for them?
I think like Steam OS is more so the competitor on the handheld side, right? Which if they were too concerned, I mean, they've already had a big head start with them with the Steam Deck, right? So I think the third parties are going to increase that a little bit. But the big news for me was that they said it's theirs will happen this year, right?
Yes.
So with that launching this year, I think later in the year we'll probably have some device that gets announced that it has that right away. Um, there is GDC in March. They're also having more news about the Xbox app, at least on PC. So we have that to look forward to. But yeah, I would say like whether it'd been nice if they were further ahead on it, but I was still excited enough that it's happening this year that I think we're kind of on that cusp of the because I think whatever this is going to be the driving force of whatever the UI will be probably for next gen, right? Because if they're doing an Xbox PC hybrid kind of thing on the next gen console next year, I think that would make sense that whatever the Xbox OS of combining Xbox and Windows would be the thing that we kind of see everywhere, kind of more like a uniform UI across all devices, right? And I think that's more so what they're going for. So for me, there's more exciting to be as opposed to concerned that they're behind Steam. Steam's going to be their main competition with that, but Steam will be behind as far as the console aspect to it because they still don't have an answer for that yet. You know, I think eventually we might have SteamOS boxes that come out again, like they tried to do in the past. But I think this will be something that they're getting the foothold on handheld gaming, and somebody will make a device that's not their own, right? And it'll be like, okay, we're gonna put this on fucking TVs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So then at that point it gets interesting. Okay, SteamOS has access on my Steam library, play it like a console, right? Or okay,
Yep.
now there's the Xbox hybrid PC next gen that comes out and it plays all my Xbox games, but I can also access Steam. For me, there's Steam, the Xbox version's winning because I can still potentially access Steam on the back end of that easier that I can access Xbox on the Linux based
Yep.
version, unless they end up doing a native app on
Right.
the Steam OS, which is very possible because Nvidia just announced a native app on for the Steam OS for their game streaming. So I think Xbox wants to be on the Steam stuff natively. I think they're probably working on it. I mean, Steam put out instructions for people to be able to put Game Pass and everything on their Steam decks, right? For the cloud streaming when the Steam Deck launched. So it's something that they're not opposed to. I think you're going to see a world in the future where you have Steam OS stuff, and hey, it can also access Xbox, but it's more forward facing as a Steam store, a Steam device, and then you have your Xbox OS devices where you can still access that stuff on the back end. And it's a trade off for both of them. And it'll be kind of a battle for who sells most devices and gets the default store in front of the people's faces, right? So that's what I would guess is going to happen. Just speculation, based on what I kind of see happening in those spaces. But I think it's a kind of a look forward, and we kind of see with all these announcements at CES and these devices, kind of what the future looks like a little bit. So
We're getting
pretty
closer,
cool.
Mav.
Yep.
We're getting closer and closer to what we've also thought we saw coming, right? With the Play Anywhere stuff and all that goodness that isn't offered anywhere else, right? And I think that that has the potential to really set themselves
Yeah.
apart this next gen and really push forward in that space. It's going to be fun to watch because there is a lot of what ifs, there's competition, but there's a lot of potential, especially how they've set themselves up now, Mav, where they create a lot of partnerships because they aren't necessarily considered a threat the way that they used to be, the way that they're approaching things, which could open up some doors to some unusual partnerships that maybe in the
Yeah.
past would not have been there, right?
Yeah,
So,
we might have seen
and
more
what a
Xbox devices than we've ever seen before. Like, as
right,
per people worried about Xbox
yes,
getting out of the hardware space, well, they'll still have their own. Plus,
right,
also, you'll be able to go, hey,
third
I
party
like
stuff,
that one that runs all my Xbox games,
yeah, at
right? I'm
different
gonna go get,
levels, right?
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
idea,
Hmm.
right? At price points, right? Performance levels. Xbox will have their set, but then other people will be able to come in and make something
Yep.
bigger and better if they want to using the Xbox stuff, right? That's exciting shit, man. Like I said, Gabe, Uncle Gabe, he's cool with Microsoft again, right? He's cool with Phil. They never know what partnerships come out of that, man. With Steam OS and Xbox OS on a same device, be able to switch back and forth would be dope natively. So, I'm fascinated by the future here. So, and this play anywhere stuff is the big one, Mav. So I can't wait to see what they do here. But yeah, it was good to see them at CES, and I think there's more to come, like you said, and more this year, which was exciting because Jason did confirm that. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna get everybody out of here. I gotta get going. Thank you all again. Sorry for the late start tonight. Nothing I can do tonight. Just one of those perfect shit storms that just happens, man. But we appreciate everybody coming out. Big turnout tonight again to start off the new year. Everybody's through the holidays. I hope you're all having, again, an absolutely ridiculous start to 2025. As it is personally, I just hope you all are just having a really good one. If you're not, hang in there. Keep plugging away, man. Everything's temporary. Just always remember that everything is temporary and you'll find your way through eventually, no matter what. So, but thank you all for being here. Nothing but love and respect. But Mav, are we doing Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night? You got any Mav cast plan? Maybe you want to continue your rant that you just started because it just got cut short by 3 hours and you'd rather keep going?
Nah, yeah,
what are you gonna
got
do?
it out of my system. Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll have Xbox Ultimate Podcast 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll get some more speculation on Dev Direct. I really want to get into the weeds on like all the possibilities for what could happen here. Because Dev Direct is coming 2 weeks away, man. But yeah, we got that. And then Monday FSP at 9 p.m. Eastern time. This tidbits on FSP this week sucked. There was like nothing to really be excited about this week for game releases. But I think as these weeks go forward, we're going to start to see more and more good games actually start dropping, including, like we said, on the 23rd, Tokyo Extreme Racers. So I'm going to be looking forward to FSP and then back here PM in the PM on Thursday.
Awesome. Can't wait, man. Yeah, everybody. Oh, I should mention too, Freedom Wars dropped today. Freedom Wars remastered. If you guys looking for classic JRPG, slash what am I trying to think of the game? Not Monster Hunter, but it why can't I think of the head on the tip of my tongue? Anyways, it's an old Vita game. I've talked about it. It's on my wish list. I'm gonna pick this up. This is one of the best Vita games, one of the most underrated Vita games of all times. The remaster came out. They didn't change a whole lot. It got mid sevens. It's like a 74, 75 score. But it looks fantastic to me. So go check out Freedom Wars. That's another great game that just dropped today as well. Otherwise, everybody, you know how to follow me, Pong Soul on the X, formerly known as Twitter, Pong Soul on Xbox, Pong Soul on Steam, GOG, Epic, everywhere. You know the drill. Otherwise, Xbox Ultimate, I should be able to have no problem making it tomorrow night, so I should be there tomorrow night. So join us here, right back on this channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time, like Mav said, for Xbox Ultimate, where the family gets together. Have lots of laughs, but lots of good talk as well. And then, of course, Saturday mornings, it's looking like we are on, as always, for Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word. Myself, my brother from another steel rain, 3+ hours every Saturday that we possibly can. So buckle up for that. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, Living Split Screen. Be there. Buckle up, get ready, live, raw, and uncut. We always have something to talk about. And obviously, the chat directs a lot of our conversations, too. We had some big conversations last weekend, 5 hours last weekend almost. So go check that out. And then, of course, always keep your eyes open for the Shop Podcast. We are on a hiatus right now. PTK hasn't made a decision one way or another permanently at all. So just keep your eyes and ears open. We might just pop back up for a weekend here at some point because PTK's got a lot to say. But if we do go, it's always going to be on PTK Blam's channel, the Shop Podcast, Saturday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. So just, again, pay attention. We'll shout it out if we're going to go. And then, of course, next week starts all over again. Tuesdays, Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. Boomstick's the man. Xbox Factor is the show. All good things green, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time for the man who does it 5 days a week, Mr. Boomstick. Go check that out. And then, of course, back at it next week, Thursday. Right here is my week where it starts with this dude right here, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM next Thursday. Otherwise, it's a golden age of gaming, people. Please keep enjoying all of this gaming goodness because this year is about to double your backlogs the way things are about to go here. So get ready, buckle up, play what you love what you play, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Get us out of here, brother.
Night, everybody. Peace out.